You're exactly right. And one of the things that we know is human nature is such that when we start to work with people who are different from us, often our inclination is to be judgmental, right? Like, that person's not like me. That person doesn't think like I do. And sometimes that creates friction or between people in teams. And so Foursight can help people to recognize the differences and move to a place of appreciation. Like, oh, that's why you're like that. That explains to me how you approach a problem and how differently you approach it than I do. And it moves us from a place of judgment to more effective collaboration. I'll share a story with you. This is more of a personal story. So my partner, Pam, and I, we bought a property and we were refurbishing it to turn it into an Airbnb. I'm more of an implementer type personality, more developer and implementer. We call that combination someone who's a finisher. So I like to focus, and I'm persistent, and I like to get things done. She's the exact opposite. She's more on the front end of the creative process, high clarifier, high ideator. So someone we call an early bird who loves to do research and use that research to come up with possibilities and play with alternatives. And we were out at a coffee shop one morning, and we've been working on this Airbnb, refurbishing it for several months. And she started asking questions and started to rethink the design that we were playing with. At that point, we were starting to look at furniture because most of the work on the property in terms of rehabbing it had been done, and it was time to think about what's the design of the space going to look like. And I thought we had made a decision that we were going with a particular design, and she started to ask questions and rethink it. And I could feel myself, literally, I could feel like my blood pressure going up. Like, no, let's not go backwards. We've already made these decisions. And of course, she was just living out her own creative process preference. She was rethinking and coming up with other questions, which led to other possibilities. And in my mind, I thought we had made a decision and committed to this particular design. And I had to remember while I was drinking my coffee, okay, this is just part of the creative process. This is, you're reacting, from an implementer perspective, because this is done in your head and you're already moving on to the next thing. You need to be open-minded here, Gerard. Don't be judgmental. Hear Pam out. And so I have to say, just having that recognition diffused the situation, right? Instead of getting into an argument, what are you talking about? We already made a decision. We're going with mid-century modern furniture. But in order for her to be comfortable, she needed to talk it out and to explore other options before settling on that. And, ultimately we did end up going with mid-century modern, and it's a very beautiful place. But that's how, differences in personality can lead to conflict, and having this recognition of this kind of diversity, because we tend to think about diversity as age and gender and ethnicity and race and culture, but there's psychological diversity is another form of diversity. Two people can be the same age, same gender, same race, but it doesn't mean they're the same people. Yeah. They can be psychologically very different. And Foursight is a tool that helps to reveal that to people, how we think differently.